We have a startup funding program that does not require any revenue. Can be on day one of forming your LLC, up to $150,000 in business credit. That means it doesn't reflect on your personal credit. 0% interest for up to 2 years. No industry restrictions.
Now I'm gonna explain why no-doc funding is soon about to be extinct. I've learned over the past couple of years that whenever there's a credit product that has low barriers of entry, it's only a matter of time before that credit play gets played out. I predict the next credit play that's going to get played out is the Chase no-doc business credit card play. So for those who don't know, Chase is the largest bank in the United States. Now they'll give you up to $150,000 in business credit cards with no documentation. And this is something you probably heard all over social media. You know, I can get you no-doc funding through Chase.
I will go with the Chase business credit card instead when it don't show up on my personal credit report. And they come with 0% APR for 12 to 18 months.
50, 75,000 on a credit card, that's really nothing to them because Chase has trillions of dollars. That's little money to them. So they can absorb a lot of people, you know, getting access to these cards. And even if there's a certain level of defaults, they can absorb that because they're the largest bank in the United States. Now, the top banks where people are trying to get accounts removed is going to be Navy Federal and Chase. And again, I see a lot of credit reports. So with Navy Federal is super generous if you have bad personal credit. So it's not too far-fetched that someone with, let's say, a 600 credit score, a 620 credit score can go and get a $25,000 Navy Federal credit card. I've seen it dozens of times, right? That's no secret. That's why everyone's trying to get into Navy Federal.
Y'all ain't hear this from me, but Navy Federal has a new no docs loan. Y'all know when it comes to Navy Federal, they literally just sit there and give away money. Like, they literally give away money. It's 2024. If you still ain't got nobody access code to make you one, I don't think you want no money for real. Anyways, all you need is your Navy Federal account for a month or longer, and you gotta have a 600 or more credit score. If your credit score is above a 600 and you had your Navy Federal for a month or more, you're eligible for a no-doc loan up to 100K. I said up to 100K. I didn't say you was gonna get the whole humbug, but this is great if you're trying to like start a small business, if you got any debt that you're trying to wipe out. And it can also be forgiven. So if you meet certain requirements, you won't even have to pay it back.
All right. And then you have Chase. Right now, the most popular funding play is the Chase no-doc up to $150,000.
I just came from Chase. And for LLCs, you do have to have your business up and running for up to 2 years, and your business credit needs to be in the 600s. Your personal credit, because it's kind of backing it, needs to be in the 580s to the 600s to be approved. But they do have different business loans that you can have for bad credit.
Chase has loosened up as far as underwriting. So they took advantage during this whole rate hike where a lot of other institutions were pulling back. Chase really started to lend out more, right, to grab a bigger market share. And so in doing that, more people were able to get approved for Chase personal and business credit cards. If anyone remembers back in the day, Chase was super hard to get approved for. You know, you have the 524 rules, and really they only cater to prime credit. So if you have over a 720 credit score, that was really their target demographic. They really weren't working with people in the mid 600s and lower credit scores. Like I said, what I've been seeing is that a lot of people are now trying to get these Chase credit cards off of their personal credit. So what happens is, let's say you get a business credit card for $70,000, $50,000, and it goes into default, that's going to hit your personal credit report. So what I've started to see is a lot of Chase and a lot of Navy Federal accounts being requested to get removed off the credit report. So what this tells me is that when we start to see a lot of this, a lot of defaults, people getting the bag, running off on it, the banks are going to switch up. They're not just going to let that keep going on. And we've even seen it with Navy Federal recently, where Navy Federal is canceling people's membership. If you have someone as an authorized user on your credit card that ran off on Navy Federal, they'll even threaten to close your account down. I know a lot of people who are now funding experts, right? And so they say, okay, I can get you 150,000 through my relationship manager, right? Now, the thing is, a lot of people think it's some type of secret back end deal that's going on when people say, I got a relationship manager. A relationship manager could be just a regular employee in a branch. It's not something special where people's like, oh, I got my reps. You know, it's like you're working with a senior level executive at Chase. That's not the case. A lot of relationship managers are employees that work at a branch. One thing I will say is that it is better to go through a relationship manager versus just applying online, right? There is a difference. Chase is giving out the bag, but what I'm trying to say is that they're not going to be giving out that bag for too much longer with people who just have an LLC and you got a 700 credit score. Because what's happening is there's a lot of defaults happening. People getting this money, 0% funding, and for the most part, are not putting it to productive use. A lot of people are just getting this money and blowing it, right? Going on shopping sprees or even just living off of credit. That's another thing for a different video, different time. But nowadays people are literally living off of credit. That's why it's become so popularized.
Nah, man. I opened up multiple business accounts with the same banks that I be having. I already know I'm gonna get approved because they just gave me the bag with the first LLC. I just wash, rinse, and repeat.
This news may seem attractive at first. However, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, considering risky borrowing and risky lending is back after 2000. Would it be a good option to have borrowers borrow without putting any money down? What would happen to their equity if things change? That'll be interesting to see.